welcome to the 2013 Bike Magazine Bible of Bike Test. We're legit, we got a mic and everything. I'm here with Squirrel, Vernon, and Seb, and we're talking about the Banshee Prime, pictured here with the Expert Build Kit. This thing is something special. What'd you guys think?
Yeah, I agreed. It had the stability that 2.9ers have, but it also was surprisingly fun and easy to jump. It was easy to corner, didn't feel cumbersome at all. You didn't have to wait for a decade for the rear wheel to leave the lip of a jump. It popped off just as you would on any bike. It was really predictable in that sense for me.
What did we say? 17.6
inch chainstays, which is really short. It's something I think Banshee prides itself in is their short chainstays. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I had a blast on this bike. To start off, I did feel that the suspension was a bit too linear for running 30% sag. I upped the air pressure and it felt way better. I ran about 20% sag on the rear shock and made it push through the travel just about right at the end of the stroke for me.
I thought the linear feel, I agree with you. I thought the travel felt pretty linear, but I thought it was very fitting for a bike like this. It's a conservative riding bike. It feels very good staying on the ground, plowing through really rough stuff, and a linear feel I think is complementary to that.
I thought it was a fairly efficient bike. I actually rode the first half of the climb with it wide open just for shits and giggles, and then put it in trail for the rest of it. But bottom line for me, this bike is like Godzilla. Godzilla's like and just destroying Tokyo, laying waste to everything, tanks, buildings. That's what this bike was for me. It allowed me to just go and hit drops it just took every bit of fear out of the descent for me. It allowed me to go and hit things harder, and because it was so stable and confidence inspiring, I found myself actually trying to pop off a little bit more and trying to be a little bit more playful with my riding, even though the bike in some ways doesn't really encourage that, at least obviously. I had a great time on it. I think, again, like you said, a 29-inch all-mountain bike was kind of oxymoronic a few years ago, but this bike shows that it's capable, it's possible.
Personally, all mountain, it's about downhilling all the time. It's about trying to maximize the amount of downhill. Yeah. Some bikes are really, really good at going uphill and they suffer on the downhill. Some are not so good on the climbs, but they're amazing on the downhills. This bike was very good on both, I felt. Mm-hmm. I felt. It just seemed to round out all of that whole spectrum there.
This is just dead sexy, the brushed aluminum. If you have to be all color conscious, it comes in like an anno black or a really bright yellow, but this is pretty dope. Yeah, it's a beautiful bike.
There's some other features we should point out. I mean, it looks a very raw looking frame, but there's some quite funky little features. The rear dropouts are one.
Right.
You can raise or lower them using the chips. There's a high, medium, and a low setting.
Right.
Okay. You can change between all of the different axle sizes on there as well. Right. We've got our setup as 135. We could put a 142. They can even put a 150 on there.
Right.
Which is pretty something special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, the bike doesn't trap you into something. You have the option to change it. It's also got ISCG mounts, so there's a lot of versatility, and I think that's one thing people worry about when they buy a bike, that they're going to be stuck in one kind of riding, and the bike does open it up. It lets you can custom tune it, really.
Being on a 29-inch, there's something happens to your brain and bumps appear smaller. Yeah. Like that your wheel can just float over that, so you go for it. It opens up a whole new world of possibilities because they took a risk doing a 29-inch all-mountain bike, and I think they nailed it.
Yeah, absolutely.